Hello everyone and welcome to the 8th episode of my Beat the Letter series, and I'm very happy to announce that I'm going to feature Reno in this episode. I want to at least feature once or twice Reno before the next, not Reno but Reno decks in general, before the rotation happens. And I'm very happy that Reno decks are strong enough to climb the ladder with. So I used this deck, just a card different, to climb to Legend this season, and I got to Legend pretty fast. I did it after 4 days, and I haven't really played that many hours per day. Usually I just play when I'm streaming, and I'm streaming for 4 to 5 hours. So basically, and I play some off stream, so I would say I played around 5 to 7 hours per day, and I got to Legend after 4 days. So that's rather quick. And yeah, without further ado, let's just jump right into this deck list and talk about the card. I'm pretty sure you guys have seen, if you are into the game, at least for the last 2 months, that most of the Reno lists that you have seen are looking very similar. Most of the lists are running like Jaraxxus as the finisher, playing the Mountain Giants, Twilight Drakes, and playing the Leroy combo, the Leroy Faceless and the Power Overwhelming. And a lot of the cards are just very similar to what other Reno running, just because they're pretty much core. I would say that around 20-25 cards are core in Reno, depending if you're running, depending if you consider the Leroy combo as core. I think it is. It's just too strong in most of the matchups, and you can use them separately from the combo. You can use the Power Overwhelming to combine it with the Shadow Flame and a small minion to get a huge board clear. You can use the Leroy with the Shadow Flame to get the board clear, and you can use the Faceless, very flexible, to copy like an opponent's Ragnaros or your own Ragnaros or your own Mountain Giant, whatever. And but if you outside that, you have this powerful finisher combo that beats super greedy decks, ends of decks, whatever you randomly might face. So I'm very happy about this list so far, and I will show you my stats of this current season in the third part of this video. As always, in the first part I will show you this deck, in the second part I will show you some games, and in the third part I will just show you the stats. And I'm not sure for the future how I will do it. I want to do at least 2 Beat the Ladder series episodes per month, and just do a couple like regular deck tags, because I want to feature like weaker decks, like Hunter, for example. Hunter would never fit in a Beat the Ladder series, just because it's not the best deck to use to climb the ladder. But if I always split it in 3 parts, I have to also show like stats, and if I am on high Legend, I will not have great success with Hunter. Probably the best I can get is maybe like 53% or so with Hunter. So, but I still want to show like the best possible Hunter list. I think that would interest people as well. So I will do I also want to do vlogs, so I hope you guys enjoy also the other content. So nonetheless, let's go over the deck list here. Mistress of Mixtures, I think that it is very powerful in Reno, especially in Reno. Out of all control decks and all decks, you can run Mistress of Mixtures, because if you go first, your overall game plan is most of the time, if you're facing a control deck or slow deck, is that you go for tap into Giant or Drake. And Mistress of Mixtures on 1 fits really into that, except when you go for the Giant, because then you're 1 card short. But you really get the full heal out of the Mistress of Mixtures, and that's what makes this card so insane. You have something on the board that you can utilize to trade into the opponent's board, but you get the full heal. And Reno is one of the very few classes that gets the full heal out of the Mistress of Mixtures when you play turn 1, going first. And this is where you want to play the Mistress of Mixtures, because it is a 1-drop. And so I really like it in Reno, and I would consider it core, just because it's that powerful in this deck, and you can use it very flexible also late game with the Power of the Overwhelming. Sometimes we kill it off with the Demon Wrath to get some heal immediately if you need it. It's like last resort healing. Just overall very powerful card. Model Coil, very flexible removal, standard in Reno since freaking 2014. Not in Reno but in Warlock or Handlock, just in control Warlocks in general. Powerwhelming, as I mentioned earlier. Acidic Swamp Ooze, I think it's core right now just because of Pirate Warrior, Shamans, just a flexible card, and a cheap removal for Arcanite Reapers and just weapons that are very popular on the ladder. Dirty Red, it's like an anti-control card. You use it in the mirror a lot to get like a lucky Kazakus pull. If you pull a Kazakus with this card, you pretty much won. So you have like this random... It's super stupid that it exists, but it exists. It's like you're forced to play it. It's like with Dr. Boom. Dr. Boom was a stupid card, but it's so powerful that you have to play it. And Dirty Red is so powerful versus other control decks, other Reno decks, that you have to run it pretty much. Like if the opponent plays a Doomsayer, you can play the Dirty Red, and sometimes you pull a Jiraxis or a combo piece from a Reno lock, like let's say a Leroy or a Faceless, and then when you pull that combo piece, like it dies immediately to the Doomsayer, but then you can also play your own Jiraxis because the opponent doesn't have a 20 damage combo anymore. So very flexible and very powerful. There's many different ways you can use it. Also against Control Warrior, you just wait till he used all the minions. Sometimes you pull an Acolyte and make him overdraw, and if he used a lot of minions, then you know he's holding Gromage. And then you pull the Gromage, kill the Gromage, you can play Jiraxis without any problem because there's no damage left, and you just win that way. Just very, very strong versus control decks, weak versus aggro decks, but sometimes it's nice if you pull like a small minion from his hand, like I don't know, a Buccaneer or something like that, then it's a 2/8 taunt for 2 mana, and that's pretty nice to have. Doomsayer just very strong right now, pretty core. Sunfury Protector, Taunt Giver. You want to have as many taunts as you can fit in the deck and as much heal as possible. So we have the Mistress, the Sunfury Protector, the Sanjin, Earthen Farseer, Refreshment Vendor, and Second Rate Bruiser, which is a new card, and yeah, that's pretty much it. And a lot of board clears. So Demon Wrath, it's bad in a slower meta, but right now we have this meta with a lot of Pirate Warriors and a lot of Shamans, that Demon Wrath is a very important card. Also against Rogue, you can utilize Demon Wrath now because they also play the Buccaneer. Bran is a pretty cool card. It's just very strong with the Kazakus if you ever get that off against a control deck. Just insane value. You get the double heal from the Farseer and those cards. Just very, very nice. Against aggro decks, you can play it on curve, so he has to remove it because they're always scared you have the Kazakus on 4, the Refreshment Window. Shadow Ball, just very nice versus Shamans. Just I would also consider this card core, especially again to kill Totem Golems and Frothing Berserkers. Blast Crystal Portion is a very important second removal, either that or BGH, but Blast Crystal is faster. Against Flamebreathe Faceless, you can play it on curve. BGH would be too slow. Also against the big one Cleave that can come out now on turn 2, turn 3, and you also want to remove that. The 1 mana crystal doesn't really hurt you that much most of the time. It's just a second removal to the Siphon Soul, and Siphon Soul is much slower, so if they play a Flamebreathe Faceless on 4, you cannot just wait for your Siphon Soul. Yeah, you need something earlier, so very nice to have also in the mirror, just to have more removals. Hellfire, just important to have as many board clears as possible against those mid-range Shaman decks, aggro Shaman decks, even Dragon Priests, and just board clears are very good right now. Kazakus. Kazakus is the new Reno card, and it's just insanely powerful. A lot of strategy goes into it. The only downside with Kazakus is that you have only around 50% that you get a specific spell you want. So if you go for Kazakus and you need the 4 damage AoE, and you don't get it, that kind of sucks if you rely on it, but oftentimes you get something else that is equally as powerful, but maybe it's not something you needed in that situation, but you get sometimes just 5 damage and summon 2 minions that died, so it's not as good as the 4 damage AoE if your opponent has a full board, but you can resummon 2 taunts. It's like whatever you get, it's above average and it's pretty damn good, but yeah, it sucks that you cannot just get, like Reno, you will always get the full heal, right? So you know what you get. With Kazakus, you can sometimes get very unlucky, and it's always bad to have this RNG aspect in the game where you can just lose if you don't get what you need. Refreshment Vendor, I think Refreshment Vendor and Senjin are the 2 cards I'm not 100% sure about. Refreshment Vendor doesn't feel that powerful, it's just a 3/5 that heals with a 4. The heal is not that great, but I don't really know what I would play instead right now. And Senjin is just good because of the resurrect effect of Kazakus, better than the Faceless Shambler, just to have like another great taunt that you can get back. Also taunts are just very good right now. Shadow Flame, another board clear that goes also with the Leroy and the PO in terms of synergy. Spellbreaker is a card I added. I didn't have Spellbreaker in my deck. I had in Gang Boss when I climbed to Legend. The reason why I play Spellbreaker now is because I was losing a lot to Reno locks because I don't have Sylvanas, and Sylvanas is very good in the mirror. Now I have something that is better against aggressive decks than Sylvanas, because Sylvanas is really bad against aggressive decks. Spellbreaker can silence totems, can silence a frothing even. Just you have something to do. Sylvanas is just a dead card. And it's good in the mirror because you can go for your giants and then silence the Sylvanas, so that's pretty nice. Also you can silence the opponent's Twilight Drake, which is super awesome. Faceless Manipulator, part of the combo piece. Second Rate Bruiser is a new card that you can pretty much always play for 3 mana versus aggressive decks, because now with the patches they oftentimes have 2 minions on turn 1, so they just have to totem up or play anything on turn 2, then you can already play it for 3 mana. So even MC Tech you can play on curve now most of the time. It's kind of insane when you think about it. Just very solid taunt, and also good synergy with the Resurrect effect, and it's good versus Priest because it has 4 attack, Emperor, Core, Reno Jackson, Core, Siphon Soul, Core. I think Siphon Soul is Core. Now that I think about it, it's really slow, but because of the heal, and you really need heal, you need AoE, and you need taunt, and you want to maximize all those 3 effects in your deck. Abyssal of Force are great AoE, and it develops a big body, very good versus midrange Shaman especially. Ragnaros is just an insanely strong finisher. Like when you think about how strong Ragnaros is, 50% of the time, usually it has a 50% chance to remove the opponent's minion from the board, but it also has to get removed. So if it it will almost always 2 for 1, and if it goes face, it dealt at least 8 damage, and because you run combo, the 8 damage is relevant. Twisting Nether, a lot of people are cutting this card, but I think it's still very good. Yeah, you just want to have as much AoE as possible, and Twisting Nether just clears everything. That's very important, especially against Jade decks. And Jaraxxus as a finisher. Jaraxxus is especially very strong versus Priest and the mirror. Also Control Warrior is getting more popular, and Mountain Giant is also very important against decks like Reno Mage and stuff, and Druids, where you have to, when you go first, you go tap and then play a big minion, and there's only Twilight Drake and Giant, so you have to play both of them to have twice the chance to get one of those. So this is the deck. I think it's just very powerful. You can also check out my stats in the third part of this video, and I hope you guys like it, and as always, give me a like if you enjoyed this video, share it if you liked it, think it's good, and see you guys in part 2 where I'll show you some games. Okay, Reno Mage. Against Mage we really try to hard mulligan for the Giant and the Drake. So I have the Reno and the Giant. It's pretty good. The Mistress is much better going second when you have in a matchup like this. So he decides to spend 2 turns and 4 mana to kill it, which is good for me, because if he pings it here, I can tap again and play the Giant. So use the Bubbling Book before he draws the Brand. That's good for me as well. And I'm gonna get the Giant out for 3 mana. And I got a lot of taps. The ping phase probably has an answer. Like, it's quite punishing for him if I play like a second rate Bruiser, because he really wants to kill my Giant here, but it's not too much I can do. I mean, I can coin out the second rate Bruiser, but I really also want to get the Giant out ASAP. Like, he cannot kill me just with a Fireball, and next turn he could Fireball ping plus trade, but he can sheep of course, and I really expected him to have an answer, because he played it so slow. But yeah, if he Fireballed this for example, then my rack is a pretty big threat now as well. I wish I had a coil. I'm gonna get my Ragnaros out a bit later. But Emperor is definitely something you have to kill. I hope that he doesn't have like a very, very fast Kazakus. I hope to have my own Kazakus. The thing is, you can play Jaraxxus after you have seen a couple firebolts and frostbolts. Burn damage in general. That's good for me. 9, 10. I could go for the Sun Fury just to have something on board. The taunt is not that important in this matchup. So I just saw Violence Portal that's damaged. Torch isn't damaged, but he got the Torch from Bubbling Book. So he has a lot of damage in his deck. I could go for a Spellbreaker here, I don't mind. There's not many things that you can silence in this matchup. I don't want to take advantage of my my biggest advantage in this matchup is my hero power, that I have more draw than him. That's very lucky draw. I mean, he has to draw something, right? But card draw is really what he wants. All the card draw in his deck. Else he can't keep up with the Warlock draw. Interesting. I think it's like a rather greedy list. So let's see how lucky he was. Definitely going for the rag here. If the rag sticks, we get the faceless on the rag. Also we push in 8 damage. It's not so important that we play rag to kill something. We wanna pushing damage is nice. Now I have like faceless and power whelming already. So I expect this to be a fireball or like a lucky sheep from the Zero Conjurer. So there's the Roaring Torch and a Forgotten Torch. So already quite a bit of burst damage gone. And we get another very crucial damage into his face. I go for the Kazakus. I'm not gonna wait for the Brawn, I think. Actually, yeah, I wanna pressure him. I go for the 10 mana potion though. Summon an 8/8 or plus 6 health. I mean, if my bot would stick somehow, that would be insane. So if you would go Alexstrasza by any chance, I wouldn't mind. Because I've seen the Roaring Torch. Six, 9. I like to buff my board. Damage is huge. Now he's like threatening Leaf already. I mean, of course he has to Reno here before the ice block. The ice block comes here a bit late. Ooh, now that I got this one. I wanna get a huge Drake. I haven't seen MC tech yet, but This bot should be very difficult to kill. Let's see what he steals. There's not much brand value I can get from this point on. So, because I used my Kazakus already. That ping. No, it looked like he's gonna ping my. Okay. I'm gonna just siphon soul it. I don't wanna die. Oh, now I don't wanna. I don't mind. Okay, because I have the fast here. I should be facelessing this one. But he can freeze my board. Yeah, I don't want him to just freeze my board. It's huge faceless value. I don't have to live tap anymore. I have everything I want. Except the Emperor. Would be nice to have the Emperor. And Shadow Flame, maybe as well. If I go Leroy, I spawn a couple imps. So use this Frostbolt as well. So I have 6, 12, 15. That's a really, still a very huge Drake. And I only have 6 minions on board. That should be game. Not again. At least a pretty easy mulligan decision. At least we have a Kazakus, that's pretty good. The faceless is pretty bad. Shadowbolt is good. Hellfire most of the time useless. I'd rather have a demon ref to kill this stuff on 3 and then play the Kazakus on 4. Because Hellfire is just too slow. I take too much damage. I probably still have to Shadowbolt this just to not take too much damage. Yeah. Even though you usually want to Shadowbolt Azure Drake or the Pillager, I would just take too much damage if I don't do it. Yeah, this is just not worth to Hellfire, so I have to go for the 5-mana potion to get my AoE. Hopefully. There you go. Draw 2 cards. So I don't have to life tap too much.
Give me a quest.
Uh-oh. Oh no. That's super bad. That is super bad. Yeah, that's it, pretty much. I have to top deck a Siphon Soul. Oh, if he doesn't have another prep. He still has a coin. Let's see what he can do. Looks like I'm not dead yet, so I can do your 4 damage AoE and draw 2 cards. That gets rid of his entire board. I can Demon Wrath, deck my Drake. I can Faceless my Drake. It's pretty bad. I think every option seems kind of bad. I need to find Reno. If I get Reno, I would have a full reset. Then it buys me like a lot of time. I really like to go for the clear and try to find Leroy. Hope he doesn't have lethal. If he doesn't have Leroy in his hand, he doesn't have lethal. And then I draw 2 cards, try maximize my chance to find a big single target removal here. And I was just very unlucky with my draws. Like, I don't have a Blast Crystal Potion or a Siphon Soul. And I didn't find my heal, so... It's just very, very unfortunate. I really don't want to just... Ooze pure Shadow Flame. Oof, that feels so bad. I can rat pure Shadow Flame. That makes probably the most sense. Hopefully find another option here. I think that's very huge. Like, if as soon as he finds Leroy, I will just die, but...
Give me a quest.
If he maybe doesn't even play Leroy if he runs double questing. That looks like an all-in play. So it's a coin and 2 random cards. I need to find some healing. Oh, I lose to double eviscerate. I don't like where this is going. I mean, I can now spell break a taunt to deny him the draw. It's probably better. I mean, he used 1 Cold Blood, he could have another Cold Blood plus zap. He could zap my guy and then, you know. But he has 1 coin in hand. So I probably want to deny him the draw. Oh man, I would just win if I had some sort of healing. Even Jaraxos would be enough healing. That's very unfortunate. Like, these cards just don't do anything. Oh, that's such a good draw. Helps me stay alive. I don't want to damage my taunt. My hand is not the best for Jirax's play, but I have at least a Blast Crystal Potion. Oh wow, really? What a way to die. Guess all I'm facing right now is Reno Mages and Rogues, nothing else. Yeah, just mulligan for the Giants and the Drakes. Didn't get the Giant or the Drake. Mistress is nice and Reno is nice. That's pretty bad for me. Plus he could have also pulled the Jiraxus and just instantly lose the game. I guess I wasn't lucky enough. What I'm gonna do now is just go for a board that, like, he pulled my 6-drop. I mean, the stats are worth 5 mana, I would say. But he pulled it very early. I mean, I have the removal. This is basically a free card I get again. Definitely go for a 5 mana potion on curve here. Try to buff HP. Unfortunately, didn't get it. This is the one I want. Because for 5 mana, there's no way he's gonna clear my board here. Yeah, that sucks. He had a very, very good card there. A very good card there. The Drake is very important. It's a huge draw. Need him to play something. Something that dies to the potion. Then he cannot... Ah, you're kidding me. And I had the... But, I mean, I have the silence, which is really good, but... Damn it. Oh, what if he has a Flame Strike? Oh, Flame Strike would wreck me. Oh, please don't have a Flame Strike. Oh, it's a one-off. It's more like a single target removal than Flame Strike. Oh, he has it, of course, he has it. It's the Reynaldo dream, you know. They get every single one-off when they need it. They're just insanely lucky, what can you do? Oh no. Oh my god, there's no way he has also Kazakus. Yeah. That would be just too stupid. It's hard to get the board. I want to buff at least 2 minions. If I had the option to revive, I would definitely go for that, but... 20%. And he cannot have everything, right? Next turn I have these two. If this one would stick, that would be insane. If this one would stick, it would be insane.
I've got the beast in my
You gotta be kidding me. This guy, man. Costs 4 mana.
Engaging TC-130 into dislocator.
Again, next turn I can play those two. And here I've seen an MC tech now, that's insane. Torch to the face. Okay. So I can hit face for 6. After Jaraxxus's heal and the Siphon Soul.
We're gonna be rich.
Sure.
Drink with me, friend.
Speaking of annoying. You gotta be kidding me. Certainly annoying. Honestly, I mean, his win condition, he can't clear my board anymore, so his win condition is to just kill my face. Oh, he topped like the sheep. Sure. That's not lucky at all. That's the thing, I don't need to live tap. Like, how's he gonna win if I don't live tap? That's the thing, I have enough reds. He just used Leroy's. I mean, he has another Reno, which is super annoying, but should be completely fine. He's probably just gonna apply it. And he pulled my Reno. It's like another thing. Torch. He's using so much. I think I can tap here. I don't see them. Just reduce more cards. If he goes face with some removal, I mean, I can always play the Jaraxxus. Maybe it's a little bit greedy, the live tap. Especially with no, just 5 cards in my deck. I have a refreshment window as well. I've actually one refreshment window left. Let's see how many spells. So the best he has is 2 firebolts in hand. Used his frostbolt. Sure. It really doesn't matter how much HP I proc him. And I don't see myself dying. If he has double fireball, he goes double fireball ping. That's 13 damage. Alright. Alright, that's it for part 2. Hope I showed you some nice games, and see you guys in a bit in part 3, where I show you some stats of the current season. Hello everyone, welcome back to part 3 of my video, and as always I wanna show you in this part some of my recent stats. I'm gonna show you actually the total stats of this month. So I want you guys to focus just on the Warlock stats. I played, as you can see, current season 44 and 18, and that is around 71% win rate, and that is only on Asia, and that is only from around rank 8 or 9 till Legend. I haven't played a single game after Legend. I immediately started climbing on EU, and I'm almost Legend there as well. I got Legend after 4 days into the new season. I entered into top 20 Legend, and I DK'd since then. And yeah, as you can see, 71% on basically very high rank. That's a very good win rate, and also a decent amount of games being played. I mainly played Reno Lock. I played only 2 decks, Shaman and Reno Lock, and maybe I show you Shaman in another video. And yeah, these are the stats, and let's go a little bit more into detail. I haven't played against many Druids. I only played 1 game versus Druid, which is kind of relevant. I don't think the Druid is that bad of a matchup. It's just you have to know how to play the matchup. Basically versus Druid, you want to go first, and you want to go tap into Giant or Drake, but also you have to know what kind of spells to take from Kazakus, like for example the Resurrect plus health buff are very strong versus a Druid, and you have to deal with the Fandral, early Fandral. If you cannot remove Fandral, you also lose the game. But I don't mind this matchup at all. I've not faced a single Hunter once again, no big surprise. I'm 10-1 versus Reno Mage pretty much. I haven't faced any other Mage type, so I'm very confident in that matchup. A lot of people think that Reno Mage is favorite. I disagree, but I think you can do a lot from both sides. I don't mind facing Reno Lock with my Reno Mage as well, so that's very interesting. I really like to play this also in tournaments. I think it's very interesting. Yes, I haven't faced any Paladins, no big surprise, especially on higher rank. I faced Priest. I think Priest is actually 50-50. If it's Dragon Priest, I beat Reno Priest pretty consistently because they don't have a finisher, and then they lose to Jaraxxus if they don't get a lucky Dirty Red versus Jaraxxus, or they get their own Jaraxxus from the Draconic Operative. A lot of things can happen, but I still think that long-term wise that Reno Lock is favorite versus Reno Priest. But Dragon Priest is actually a surprisingly difficult matchup, and I think it's rather even, so no surprise that I lose some games versus Priest. Rogue is the worst matchup, and as you can also see, I haven't faced that many Rogues. That's why my climb was that good last season. In the end, even especially towards the end of the season, you faced a lot of Rogues, and on my climb I haven't faced that many Rogues. I faced a lot of Shamans, no big surprise. Shaman and Warrior, the 2 most popular decks, and I'm 73% versus all Shaman types, so that's very good. And yeah, that's my favorite matchup. Versus other Warlocks, I was actually unfavorite, and the reason is because I don't play Sylvanas. That's actually a big deal. So now I added a Spellbreaker, but before I didn't have one, and I think that makes quite a big difference. And 7-0 versus Warrior. So Warrior and Shaman are the matchups I wanna face, and yeah, pretty good climb. Those are the stats. I hope you guys enjoyed this video as always. Not quite sure when I make my next Beat the Ladder series. I want to make at least 2 per month. And yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed. It's kind of hard to make this kind of content because it requires a long sample size, and I have to feature a deck that you can climb successfully with. And I was also quite busy last month, so I was traveling a lot. And yeah, and also I want to make all sorts of different content. I want to upload vlogs, and I want to upload like deck tech videos, just the regular ones, where I don't have to show like a huge sample size and all these parts, and just feature cool decks. Like the best hunter deck. For example, if I want to make a video about the best hunter deck, I cannot make a Beat the Ladder series because it's probably not the best deck to climb the ladder with, but I can still show the best current hunter version. And so I want to make different kind of content, not always these super long videos. I hope you guys enjoy these kinds of videos as well, and see you guys next time, and peace out.